In mid-2025, two of Hollywood's biggest names, Dwayne Johnson and Chris Hemsworth, faced off in a high-stakes courtroom battle. Inside that courtroom, they pinned years of hidden rivalry on a major film studio's copyright dispute. From the tense glances exchanged in the judge's chamber to the judge's stern warnings, this was more than a legal matter. It was a declaration that, in this industry, no one's position was guaranteed. Outside, fans turned the courthouse grounds into a frenzy under the hashtag #OffRockV's Thor trial, while inside, witness testimonies, attorney sparring, and shocking admissions transformed the case into an unforgettable Tinseltown scandal. The courthouse was buzzing as dawn broke. Jurors sat in their seats, and cameras in the press gallery were poised to capture every moment. When the courtroom doors swung open, a crowd of spectators filled the hallway, some chanting for Johnson, others cheering for Hemsworth. Onlookers wondered, is this really just about copyright? Or is it the moment a long-running power struggle finally goes public? When Judge Elizabeth Warren entered the bench, a hush fell over the room. Draped in her black robe, she raised her gavel and said, "Court is now in session. All attendees must remain silent once proceedings begin. Counsel, please take your places." Her presence, combined with the courtroom's polished wood paneling, gave the scene a gravitas that felt straight out of a movie. Dwayne Johnson sat in the plaintiff's chair, clad in a sharp suit that strained against his broad shoulders. The judge studied him briefly. His massive arms were obvious even beneath tailored fabric. Beside Johnson, his lead attorney, Sarah Mitchell, flipped through her files, nerves barely contained. As everyone waited for Johnson's opening statement, the tension was palpable. A single camera shutter could have broken the silence. Across the room, Chris Hemsworth sat tall, arms folded, wearing a gray suit that emphasized his lean frame. His posture was unwavering, his expression steely. Behind him, his studio's attorney, Mark Rivera, tapped his pen and scribbled notes feverishly, aware that every word could swing the jury one way or the other. In the back row, Hemsworth's family and a few close friends leaned forward, eager to catch every detail. Sarah Mitchell, Johnson's attorney, rose first. With a calm but forceful voice, she began. "Your Honor, my client, Dwayne Johnson, shared the script for Iron Justice Legacy with Mr. Hemsworth and his team in early 2023. They all approved it, until the opposing team abruptly pulled the project and repurposed key elements for a similar film under Mr. Johnson's name. This is a clear case of copyright infringement and unfair competition." As she spoke, Johnson's face stayed composed, though his jaw clenched slightly at the assertion. Murmurs rippled through the gallery. What really happened behind the scenes? When it was the defense's turn, Mark Rivera stood and nodded respectfully. He replied, "Your Honor, Chris Hemsworth's involvement in Iron Justice Legacy ended at the concept stage. The final script was written by outside writers hired by the studio, writers who had full editorial control. Mr. Hemsworth did not have exclusive claim over those assets. Therefore, Mr. Johnson's allegations are baseless." At that moment, Johnson's brow furrowed. Spectators whispered, "So who truly owned the story?" Judge Warren, determined to move the trial along, called the first witness, a young, relatively unknown scriptwriter. John Carlyle stepped up to the witness stand, wearing a plaid shirt and an air of nervous excitement. "I'm John Carlyle," he said, "and I worked as a writer on Iron Justice Legacy. Initially, both Mr. Johnson and Mr. Hemsworth approved the project, but just weeks before filming, Hemsworth's team took over production control. Several scenes credited to Mr. Johnson simply vanished. This created legal ambiguity. Carlyle's words sent a shockwave through the courtroom. If true, Hemsworth's side had indeed reworked Johnson's contributions. Next, Dwayne Johnson's studio manager, Gloria Reyes, was called. She approached with a stack of printed emails and draft pages. "These are the original scripts," she said, passing them to the bailiff. "They contain scenes clearly written for Mr. Johnson's character, but Hemsworth's team rejected these drafts and inserted their own material, often repurposing Johnson's ideas under different names and dialogue." Her testimony prompted Hemsworth's attorney to object, but Judge Warren allowed her to continue. Gloria's evidence painted a troubling picture. Johnson's work had been co-opted without proper credit. During the lunch recess, chaos erupted in the hallway. Factions of fans clashed, some chanting, "The Rock is right," others defending Thor's honor. Bloggers and social media influencers broadcast live updates, dissecting every legal maneuver and predicting who would emerge victorious. After lunch, Rivera delivered a forceful rebuttal. "Your Honor, the studio reorganized the entire production team, which included multiple writers who altered the story drastically. My client only contributed ideas in early meetings. He never had a proprietary script. Mr. Johnson and his associates manipulated the process for personal gain." His argument was technical, but it left the jurors visibly uncertain. How does creative ownership work in Hollywood anyway? Finally, it was Dwayne Johnson's turn. Walking to the podium with his familiar blend of steely determination and genuine emotion, he paused before speaking. "Chris and I started as friends in this business. We backed each other's projects and even trained together. But over time, competition overshadowed our friendship. This trial isn't just about a screenplay. It's about years of resentment and disappointment. If this case falls through, who in Hollywood will trust anyone else again?" His words hung in the air, warming the courtroom's cold formality with a note of heartfelt sincerity. As evening approached, the jury prepared their verdict. When Judge Warren read the decision, the courtroom fell silent. Facts show neither side provided incontrovertible proof of exclusive ownership. Both parties share responsibility for communication failures throughout production. Therefore, the court orders the studio to restructure the project and involve original writers from both camps for a revised, mutually approved script. In other words, neither Johnson nor Hemsworth won outright. The judge insisted on a collaborative rewrite and clearer protocols for creative control. As the courtroom emptied, Johnson and Hemsworth exchanged a brief look in the hallway. No smiles, no scowls. Just a quiet question. "Are you ready for round two?" Flashbulbs popped around them as cameras captured that final moment, reminding everyone that in Hollywood, true power often lurks just behind the scenes.